What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel to another WNBA video. We have a 3-game slate to dive into for Tuesday, June 3rd. So we'll break down and analyze each of those games, talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points and the spread, and we'll also go over some player props that I found in those games that I like. But any plays that I put in officially myself, make sure you check down there into the pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that'll send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where all of my final plays will live for free. But before we dive into today's slate, let's go ahead and take a look back at yesterday's picks, what we took and how that ended up going down. Now we go 2-4 on the night, and it really sucks, man. Because if you watched the video yesterday, you paid attention to the leans, which way we were, leaning on the side and on the totals. We were looking at the board pretty well, man. Went 3-1 as far as our leans on sides. Went 4-0 as far as our leans for the totals, with where the lines were at the given time when we recorded the video. So said, man, when you go 7-1 on your leans as far as the sides and the totals, and then you go 2-4 on the plays that you actually put in yourself, definitely a little frustrating, right? But let's go ahead and pull those picks up right over here, man. Like I said, 2-4 on the day. Took the Liberty team total over 89.5. That one did cash. Took Natasha Cloud over 9.5 rebounds and assists, and she lands on the hook at 9. So we do not cash on that one. Sat out pretty much. I think she sat out the whole fourth and most of the third quarter as well, with the Liberty just rolling, right? I think they win that one by 55 or something like that, 45. I don't know. Destroyed the Sun, completely dismantled them. Took the Aces in the Storm, total under 163.5, and that one does cash. Then we took the Storm plus 3.5. They lose by 5, so we don't hit on that one. Took the Valkyries first quarter team total under 18.5. And then I think they score, 24 against Minnesota here, something like that. They get well up over 20 points and crush us here on that one. So we don't cash there. We took Courtney Williams over 5.5 assists. She lands at 5, so we lose both our player props on the hook. Just a rough night, man. So 2-4 overall. Did drop us down a little bit unit wise, so we are still in the green, plus 0.14 units now on the year, 36 and 35 overall, just hovering above 500, right? We got to get some wins up on the board and start stacking up these units, man. But like I've been saying, been playing everything super conservative. We're going to keep that rate here, probably for the next couple weeks as well, as everything just kind of shakes out. We build up some more data, playing everything at quarter units, half units. That way we're not getting killed on these nights. So let's go ahead and get into the action, guys. I apologize if my voice sounds a little off. Vibes are a little bit off, man. And suffering from a cold these last few days. It's just really kicking my ass, the last couple of days specifically. Woke up this morning feeling really, really rough. So gonna power through this video, man, and gonna go hit the couch and relax the rest of the day, man. No games on the board tonight. No NBA either, so probably gonna sleep it off, man, and get back to normal tomorrow. So if you guys don't mind smashing that like button down there for me, hitting subscribe if you have not already. We are up over 130,000 subscribers now on the channel. Absolutely insane. You guys are amazing. So let's go ahead and jump into the mix, guys. More Commissioner Cup action. We're going to start off with the Mystics and the Fever. 7 p.m. tip-off time. We have the Fever as 4-point favorites now, total sitting at 161.5. It's going to be a rematch between these two. They just met in Washington last Wednesday. It was the 83-77 Mystics victory. Washington is on the road here after back-to-back home games. They will return home right after this one for 3 more. They've lost 4 of their last 5 to drop to 3-4 straight up, however, but they are 4-3 against the spread. The Fever have lost 3 straight now, and they are searching for their first win without Caitlin Clark. She's going to be out for at least another week with that quad strain. They're home here for the second straight game before heading out on the road for 2 straight after this one. Indiana was down big to who's been the worst team so far in this short WNBA season, the Connecticut Sun. They trailed by as many as 15 in the fourth quarter, but man, they caught fire there at the end, right? DeWanna Bonner went off from deep, and Indiana pulled within 1 in the closing seconds, but they could not close that one out. When these two teams met last week, it was the Fever's first game without Clark, and it showed in a major way, and just how much that offense went flat and stagnant throughout the course of the game. I mean, how often they gave the ball up with just 15 assists to 17 turnovers. The Mystics' defense has been impressive this season, however. We can't take that away from them, sitting at 5th for defensive rating. And they're holding opponents to just 38% shooting from the field, that is second in the W, and only 26% from deep, that is first in the W. Problem is they have struggled as a whole offensively despite strong showings from Sykes and rookies Kiki and Sony to start the season. They are third to last in terms of offensive rating and are shooting at the fourth lowest percentage from the field across the entire W. They are hitting 3-point shots at the second highest percentage so far this season, but they're only making a little over 6 per game on average. That's the third fewest per outing. The Fever only shot 24% from deep in their first meeting in Washington and 40% from the field overall, but these Fever have been pretty decent on the offensive end this season, sitting at first in the league for field goals made per game, third in points per game. And I know, man, these things will obviously take a hit with Clark out, as they have so far, but we'll also see Indiana keep adjusting as we have seen so far as well. They shot 49% overall from the field their last time out, 41% from beyond the arc. They dished out 20 assists to, or yeah, 20 assists to 15 turnovers. But they're really struggling to get out in transition. That's where they are missing Clark the most right now. Just 4 fast break points against the lowly Connecticut Sun, man, their last time out, who are giving up the fourth most points in transition themselves. This is an area where the Fever they got to improve, man, and they want to run. They want to play fast, and they're playing at the fastest pace in the league. So, like 4 fast break points, man, that's just not going to cut it. They're going to have a tough challenge here getting it going in that regard here as well, going up against this young, scrappy Washington team again. They do sit first in the W for fast break points allowed. This is a spot, though, where the Fever are desperate for a win, more so than this Mystics team, no matter how fun and exciting they've been to open up the season at this point in the year. The Fever are full of veterans, they're multiple champions, right? And at 2-4, losers of 3 straight, with their star player out at least another week, man, I look for them to step up to the challenge. Those veterans, right? Those multiple champions on this squad. It's a bounce back spot. It's a revenge spot. It's a home game. I'm on the Fever here, man. I can't get there with the Mystics. Although, like I said, I really, really love this Mystics teams, man. I mean, you've been watching these videos. You've heard me gush over this team a handful of times already. I really do like them. Internally, I'm going to be rooting for them, but my money is already on the Fever, man. So I took the Fever early. I got that money line right when it came out. It was at minus 155. I still see some minus 165s out there, but I definitely see that one still moving up. And I think that those 165s will probably disappear here shortly as well. This could be a close game. I kind of expect it to be a close game, just based off the last time out. But I definitely still like Indiana end of the day. For the total, I would be looking at it over here. The under just barely hit last week between these two, but prior to that, they had hit the over in 4 straight head to head. The Mystics hit a wall their last time out against the Liberty, but they have the confidence from their head-to-head meeting last week with the Fever of how to attack this Indiana defense. While I'm expecting the Fever to adjust and make things harder on Washington, I do expect the Mystics offense to have more success here against these Fever than they did their last time out against New York. And I expect the same for the Fever as they look to improve game by game without Clark. I think we get big games from the Fever vets here, and what I expect to be a close back and forth affair. Late in the game that kind of ends up pushing us just up and over this line, right? So I'd be leaning over in this one. And as far as a player prop, I'm going right back to the rookies over here with the Washington Mystics, right? We have cash now on a same game parlay with these rookies. Believe it's 4 games running at least, right? It may be 5. I'd have to look into it. We have smacked every parlay we have put in with them, and we're going to keep it the same, man. We've been hitting on this Kiki over 9.5 points. We can scroll down and see that she has hit that at a 100% rate this season, including 16 against Indiana last week when they played. And we're parlaying that with Kiki's rebounds over 5.5, and we can see that she has hit that in 6 in a row. 6 of the 7 games they played so far. The only time she did not go up over that 5.5 rebound mark was in the opener against the Atlanta Dream. But we can see, like I said, kind of crushing that number here, right? 6 out of the 7. And we're pairing that finally with Sonia Citron, her points over 9.5 as well. She has also hit that at a 100% rate, including 13 that last time out against the Indiana Fever. Now, all 3 of these together, Kiki, 10 plus points, Kiki, 6 plus rebounds, and Sonia Citron, 10 plus points. We can put that in over at FanDuel at minus 109 odds currently. Next up, going to be looking at the Phoenix Mercury taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx are laying 10.5, and that total keeps dropping. It is down to 155.5 now with a 8 p.m. tip-off time. It's another rematch here from last week as these two just met in Phoenix on Friday. It was a 3-point come-from-behind win for the Lynx. They were without MVP candidate Nafisa Collier in that one. They are home here for 1 game after 2 on the road, and then they will be right back out for 2 more on the road after this. Then they do get 4 days of rest between games after that one. So Phoenix is on the road here for the second straight before heading back home for a 3-game homestand after this. The Mercury are 5-2 straight up, 4-3 against the spread, while the Lynx are still undefeated starting this season 7-0. But they haven't been the best team covering against the number, sitting at just 2-5. Phoenix is fresh off covering and winning outright as dogs in Los Angeles on the road, and I'm still not sure what the books were thinking in that one. I was so thrown off by it that I just stayed off, right? I was like, "I'm missing something. This has to be a trap." But nah, man, Phoenix does win that one outright. But yeah, go back and watch the video for that game, man, and I was just itching to take the Mercury on the money line. It was plus money. I think it was up to like 160 something, 162. More of the story, man. Always trust your gut, guys. Always trust your gut. The Lynx failed to cover officially, although they may have cash for you depending where you got the number at, right? That game had opened up with Minnesota laying 9.5, and then it had ballooned up to 14.5 by tip. They win that one by 11. So if you caught them early, you did end up cashing with Minnesota. The thing is, with Minnesota is that they are more than capable of covering these larger lines, but can't help but think the books have them just slightly overvalued, as they've been made double-digit faves 3 times now, failing to cover in any of those so far. I think this larger line indicates that this calf injury that AT is suffering from is more on the serious side as well, with Phoenix opening up as 10.5-point dogs. It looks like she's going to be out for this one as well, but I'm not sure that I could get there with Minnesota. Phoenix, despite the injuries, keeps chugging along. They keep playing well. The entire starting lineup made at least 2 threes in their last game out. They shot 41% from deep as a whole. Defensively, they continue to be stout. That's where their bread and butter has been all season long. They're second for defensive rating. They're allowing the third lowest shooting percentage, the second lowest percentage from deep. Opponents are only getting 75 points per game up on them. That is the second fewest in the W. The Lynx have dominated the series, though, head to head, winners of 9 of the last 10 meetings and 7-3 to the number in that time. But man, I've just been too impressed with Phoenix, as a whole, with their defense, their resiliency. Like I said earlier, man, battling through injury after injury to open up this year, yet still sit at 5-2, with some impressive wins on their resume as well this season. So I'd be leaning towards the Mercury here, but I do think that I like them in the first half, maybe a little more even than the full game. They're catching 5.5 in the first half currently. That's a number that they've covered in 5 of their first 7 first halves to open up the year. The Lynx have only covered that number twice in 7 games and failed to do so against Phoenix last Friday as the Mercury took a 1-point lead into the half. We've seen Minnesota, they've utilized late rallies in games more often than not and have won their last 5 games by an average of just under 6 points per game, and that is inflated slightly even with their 11-point win over the expansion Valkyries their last time out. I just worry at some point late in the game, these Lynx catching fire and pulling away for the cover. Um, but I don't know, man. On second thought, maybe here I am again overthinking things, right? And because we've seen the Mercury cover this number at a 100% rate this year, while the Lynx have only covered this line in wins over the Wings, the Sparks, and the Valkyries. And that's not me taking talking down on these 3 franchises, taking anything away from them. But the Mercury are clearly a much better team than any of those 3, even with their injuries. So I'm leaning Phoenix in this one. It's all just a matter of how I want to play it. First half, full game. If I end up getting there to pull the trigger, which way do we pull the trigger? You know what I mean? First half, full game. That is the question right now. The total, looking at that, man, it is crazy low, but it makes sense with the Lynx playing at the slowest pace in the league and Phoenix bringing in the second-ranked defense. Minnesota fourth in that regard. Their match last Friday only netted 145 total combined points, and I'd probably lead towards a under here as well. But with that number being that low, I don't think it's something that I'll be looking to play here in this game. I'd like to see if we can, maybe some money starts coming in on the over and we can get that number a little bit higher. But at 155.5, that is just too low of a number for me to want to sweat it out. And a prop I wouldn't mind looking at is Satu Sabali of the Mercury. Her points over 21.5. It's minus 115 over there, FanDuel, which feels like a pretty good price. Considering just how hot she has been. We can see that she scored 26 in that last meeting earlier this season with the Mercury. She has gone up over this mark in 4 of the 7 games played this year, right? And we can see these 2 games without Alyssa Thomas. She is crushing the number as well. We can see that her field goal attempts have gone up as well without Alyssa Thomas, sitting at 19, 20, and 21. in the last previous 3 games. You can see the increase, right, from 17, 16, 12, 14, then we jump up into the 20s here. So looking good there. And we can see the Lynx over here, right? They're sitting at third for points overall allowed, but if we look at them specifically against the forward spot, that does drop down to 9. So we definitely like to see that here. Obviously, going up against the Minnesota Lynx team, that is a defense that is more than capable of putting the clamps on, but we have not seen them perform up to their standard really this season yet. And like I said, we did just see Satu just last week drop 26 on them. So man, she has been explosive this season. I definitely think this is worth a look, and at -115, I like those odds a lot. And lastly, we're looking at the Dallas Wings taking on the Seattle Storm. Storm are 8.5-point favorites in this one. Total sitting at 162.5. We have a 9:30 p.m. tip-off time for this one. The Storm are home here for the third straight game, but they're coming in off of a 3-game losing streak, including back-to-back losses at home for the first time since July of 2023. Seattle's been crazy, man. It's been a wild year so far for them. They are just 3-4 straight up, 4-3 to the number, while the Wings come into this one at 1-6 straight up, 2-5 against the spread. And they're coming in off of back-to-back losses to the Sky. Paige Beckers will be out for this one after missing their last game. She's set to be reevaluated after this game here with that concussion that she suffered. And then Ty Harris has also missed the last 2 games for Dallas with a knee injury. This is a tough one, man, because I fully expect the Storm to bounce back here at home and get back in the winning column, but I'm not sure that I want to lay 11 or 8.5, excuse me, with the team that has been as wildly inconsistent and disappointing to open the year as Seattle has been. But even still, backing Dallas, even with them catching 8 on the road, without Page in a cup game and a get right spot in a home game for Seattle, I don't know, man. I can't look at the Wings. I gotta lean the Storm's way. There's no way we see the Storm lose 3 games in a row at home, right? Not to the Wings, not without Paige. Can't see it, man, but crazier things have already happened to start this season, so, man, I'm not putting it past anything, but I'm definitely leaning towards Seattle. It's just a lot of points to get behind right now with this team with, like I said, with as wildly inconsistent as they've been. So this one might just say a lean. Make sure you check down there into the pin comment. As far as the total is concerned, it's hard to want to look at an over when looking at Seattle as they've only gone up and over this number twice so far this season through 7 games. But then looking at Dallas, they've been the complete opposite, clearing this number in 5 of their last 7 games, or 5 of their 7 games played this season, including 3 in a row. Dallas plays at the third fastest pace, while the Storm are playing at the second slowest. So with these two looking to attack this game in 2 different ways, something's obviously got to give, right? Without Page, though, to help lead the charge this time around, I feel like the Wings are going to struggle to get points on the board in Seattle. The Wings defense is a mess, however. We've seen some regression from Seattle defensively to open the year. We've also seen them show flashes of excellence at times shooting from the perimeter. So I'm not sure I could talk anyone off of an over, but all things considered, personally, I would still lean towards an under here. Seattle at home. Gotta expect that defense to pick it up at some point. So, yeah, I'll be leaning under, but this whole game as a whole, I think it's going to be hard for me to get anywhere with. I mean, I'm not seeing any player props in that aspect as well. Nothing that's popping out to me as anything with value. So, that will wrap us up for today, guys. A nice 3-game slate. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe down there. And drop your favorite plays down there in the comments, guys. And that's going to do it, man. Hope you guys all cash out. Hope you guys all have a great night. And I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.